Hello again. Today I have a new video for you after quite a while. I'm using a setup that I stole from someone. The only change I've made is the flag is on the outside of the tripod. I played it against Vertigo and it was pretty fun game. So let's get right to it. He now starts here, I start here, and uh, at first I'm not sure what to expect, so I'm coming up with low pieces. Sergeant, I'm expecting to lose it, either maybe I'll get a scout for it, but I'm not sure at the moment. Now, since he started with this piece, and then he only went with the other piece. Usually players do that when it's either a scout or a captain or a major, and either way I'd get some kind of I'd have at least small understanding of what's going on here. I got a scout and it was great, and then we traded. And now I figured, okay, this is a captain or a major. If it's a captain, then it's gonna be nice to have him on the lane with my major. If it's a major, then I can step up with my captain and block off the lane. And it was a major, so that was nice. And now I just put the captain there and make sure that nothing except from the major comes through. What up with the minor, just in case he will go against the captain with this piece, I'll go against the major with this piece. He will most likely go away with the major and I'll hit whatever piece this is. In the meantime, we found captain on the other side. We both scouted each other, and now I don't like lying liabilities, so I decided to offer a trade-off of those captains, and sure enough, we got it. Then he scouted few pieces, so I made sure to not bring out anything of value. And yeah. Now I figure this might be a lieutenant or a major. If it's a major, then just losing minor doesn't hurt that much. If it's a lieutenant, then I can pick it up with my captain. I'm having a lot of scouts here, but I'm planning on using them mainly as a distracting piece. He may not expect so many scouts here, so I might either scout something of value or he might reveal something for it. He's trying to do something on this side, so it's good to have my marshal here. Now, I am hoping he's gonna hit me with the sergeant, that would be nice. And I found the captain, that was nice. And now this was the first moment that gave me some intel. He went with the captain known piece against this unknown piece, which went after the major. There is a good chance that this piece is a major, trying to just pick up a piece and then trade the majors off. But he went up with captain, which tells me that this is a piece that he protects it with. I'm not sure which. During the game, for a while I thought it was colonel, for a while it was marshal, but later in the game it became clear which one it is. So I moved away, and of course he didn't follow me because then he wouldn't be covered. Yeah, he's now doing something here. I didn't believe that he was gonna take it with one of those pieces, but as soon as he went with this piece, it became clear. Yeah. Now, since I'm blocking the whole center, I can bring out the real pieces, the general, without being afraid of him scouting me. So that was nice. And now he went with this piece, so I figured one of them is maybe a lieutenant, one of them the major. I said it before that I thought that those pieces were here, so I decided to protect it. Keeping an eye on this piece. And sure enough, eventually he took me. So, yep, I got a piece. That was nice. Now I will speed it up a bit. Since my marshal is revealed, I decided to make use of it. and I figured this sergeant definitely isn't protected by spy. This is one of the least likely positions for the spy to be in right now. I figured this might be a spy or somewhere around the major, but I wasn't sure. But I knew that the sergeant wasn't protected. That one I was sure about. I scouted just to make sure it's not general, and eventually I picked up the sergeant. He went up with this piece. For a moment I got a bit scared. Oh, also, I just lost the track of the colonel, which was right here. Yeah, this is the colonel. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure it was a colonel. During the game, I kept an eye on this piece, but yeah, that's kind of important. So the piece is now here. Yeah. Eventually, I picked up that sergeant, and the suspected piece came here. So I got the sergeant, and now I got a bit scared of what this piece might be. But since he protected with colonel, if he would have moved down, then I wouldn't move away with my major. I mean, I was contemplating whether this is colonel and this is marshal, or this is colonel and this is junk piece. Either way, I was not gonna let him go near my general. But then he gave me a time. So now if the piece moves down, then I can hit it with my lieutenant to make sure. And only then everything's alright. Making sure to not give away the free captain. Got a lieutenant, and he comes up with general. So now I was pretty sure that this is the spy. I mean, general and spy, kinda interesting combo. But I wasn't sure where's the marshal. I mean, since I suspected him to have balance setup, I thought this might be a marshal, so I was going to be really careful about this piece. And if he would have gone down, then I don't know, maybe I just have to bring up the minor, which is not really a piece I want to use. But I was at this point really afraid of this piece. Yeah, I made sure to not give him any material. This piece didn't move that captain, and if he would have came near our generals, then I would have swapped, but that wouldn't have been ideal. Either way, now he makes big mistake. Showing the general isn't bad thing, that's definitely good, but he shouldn't show his marshal too, because that was the only thing that kept my colonels from attacking, and now I can attack him on both sides. So I got a major first. Sorry, I got sergeant, but my major is revealed. I didn't think it mattered that my majors will be revealed, because I figured we're gonna swap a lot of pieces soon. Yeah, and now I wanna make sure I use this colonel on this major, also blocking of this side for potential colonel attack. Yeah, and here I made a little bit of bluff. Luckily my opponent didn't react properly. There was no way I could get the major if he would have just let it be, but luckily he gave it to me, so that was a nice gift. And now all I have to do, because I'm up to majors, all I have to do is swap out generals, swap out marshals, and swap out colonels. And then the game is easy. I don't even necessarily need to swap out the marshals, but the generals definitely have to go. So the first chance I'm gonna get, yeah. And because the general was stuck in the center, it was kind of helpful. Now, I remember this piece being problematic, so I was pretty sure this is a colonel. Now, going down with the colonel is just a bit more flexible than going on the side. Either way, I'm just trying to avoid the two-square rule. And now he comes up with this piece, and I thought like it was a bit odd, so I decided to scout it. I mean, his colonel started here, marshal here, general here, so I wasn't really sure what to make of this piece, whether it was junk or whether it was actually the other colonel. So I scouted just to be sure, because I had both my majors here, which are liability, And sure enough, it was a colonel. So that was great scout for me. And yeah, now I just went to protect with my colonel. I knew I was gonna pick up some piece. Also, this is kind of important that this piece went back. This one. I wasn't sure which where it go, and then I almost blundered the colonel to it. Luckily, I decided to not risk. Either way, I picked up this captain. Yeah, and here is the moment where I was like, okay, did the piece go here or here? I think it was this one, and I was very close to hitting this piece. Luckily, I didn't do it because, as it turns out, this is a bomb. So, luckily, I played it safely. But yeah, I should have just gotten that piece, but I forgot. So that was definitely not good. Okay, and also here he made, I think, a small mistake. He should have gone down, blocking my pieces off, and forcing me to go around with my colonel. But when he went up, I can block his colonel from ever going anywhere. I will just hold it in this area, and I can use the right lane to attack anything I want to. So that was very helpful. And that's what I planned on doing. Just stick my major here and then slowly bring up pieces up and either gain some more material or hopefully find a flag. But since his marshal was here, general here, I suspected either corn flag or tripod here. Yeah, and from this moment he started anti-playing till pretty much the end of the game. Got a miner for free, that was nice, and now I just have to make sure that he can't take my pieces. I decided to do it this way, just sticking my marshal here and then running away with all of my pieces. And now I'm even holding his colonel here. Now, this was a moment where I was like, okay, where could his flag actually be? And yeah, I was very much convinced it's either here or here, especially since he went here to block off the right lane. Sorry, the left lane. So I was very sure about it. So my plan was to destroy this whole area, gain material, and then trade everything and win on the other side. But I was by now very convinced that the flag is here. Anyway, moving on a bit. Yeah, his colonel is just not going anywhere. And now his colonel, I thought, was here to block off the lane, but he went back. So I was like, wait, what is he doing? And I was wondering whether he's just, I don't know, trying to confuse me or just playing on time and isn't really thinking it through. But at this point, I was like, okay, I believe his flag is here, so I will not attack this side, I will destroy this one. And as it turns out, his flag was actually here, so this was a really smart play by him. Not sure if it was accidental or whether he planned it this way, but it really made me focus on the other side. So maybe he was just trying to get away with the call, but yeah, this was pretty smart play by him. Eventually I get up, and yeah, I stick a major here or somewhere. And here I was thinking, okay, how do I start attacking? And I decided to go up with lieutenant to hit this piece. But that was mistake, especially since we can trying to think about which pieces have been here. So general, marshal, major, scout, and scout. When you have general and marshal on same side, you need to have their multiple mid-level pieces. So me going up with lieutenant is pretty bad because I know that there's gotta be a captain. There was a major, there's gotta be a captain, and I haven't seen that captain yet. So I should have used a sergeant because there is a high probability of finding a captain. And sure enough, soon I will find one with the lieutenant. So I could have saved a higher piece. So small inaccuracy here. Found the captain, so I picked it up with my major, and life go on. Now, he's really selling this to be the spy, and it even makes sense. I was suspecting it earlier. Marshal General Spy Major, so I wasn't gonna challenge it in any way. I just took it as piece that I am pretty sure of, but I would still be careful with my Marshal when if something would come up close to him. So yeah, and he's really not trying to do anything. And now this was interesting moment. I came up with this lieutenant, trying to sell it as a spy to make sure that his marshal is not moving. And I was thinking like, okay, what's he gonna do next? He was before this anti-playing with his colonel, suspected spy, and marshal. Now his marshal is stuck. So is he just gonna move around with these pieces? And he started moving with this piece. So at this moment, I was like, okay, he really solid. Also, if he would have called it, that's okay. I can just ignore it, go down with my colonel or up, and he can even take it, and then I'll trade and pick up some pieces. Also, trading the colonels is good enough for losing the lieutenant. And now I just went on. Okay, and now when I have the miner here, I have to think about what do I want to hit. And my goal was to hit these pieces. Before this, I believe this was a tripod. Now I'm not so sure, but somehow this was still the place I wanted to look for. I no longer believe that he had a corner flag because he just gave me the lane, and that's not something he would do if he had corner flag. That's like the exact opposite of what he should do. So I wasn't gonna hit the corner, and then when I got my miner here, I thought about okay, so if I'm not hitting the corner, what am I hitting? And I decided to hit this piece because the other ones are kind of hard to get. Also, if I'll remove this piece, then it's easier for my pieces to attack these pieces, which are my actual targets. And I found a bomb, which was ideal. So now I got a sergeant. And yeah, I'm just keep going. He's still anti-playing. I mean, he's pretty much paralyzed. He doesn't really have any way to progress the game. And now I should have probably hit with the sergeant this piece. It's pretty out of place. I don't believe this is his flag, so it's most likely that this is some garbage I can just pick up for free. So again, I could have made somewhat of an assumption. But I found a lieutenant, so that's something. And now I wasn't really sure how to get my miner there, so I decided, since I already found a sergeant here, I wasn't sure if this is a miner or this is a miner. I decided to first scout one of those squares, but probably again mistake. I should have just gone with my miner because this ended up being just a trade, and I could have gotten it for free, so not ideal. I also now have to watch out for the amount of miners I have, but since I believe this is his flag, it makes sense to be his flag. I'm not really worried about using it. And I maybe should have with the lieutenant hit this piece. Again, it's out of place because it's not a tripod and there was a bomb. But I thought since he had a scout here, there's good chance that he has double bomb. So I decided to not do that. I'm just maneuvering the pieces in a way it works well for me. Also, you have to remember I have open flag and he has scouts, so at any time he can come, he can just jump out and scout one of the pieces here. So I decided to put my miner somewhere over here to, in case of emergency, block off the lane. Found the bomb with Lieutenant, which isn't ideal. And now this was a bomb, this is a bomb. Would this be a bomb? And I decided that there is equally likely chance of either one of these two be a bomb. So I decided to hit one of them and yeah, and just see what happens. But since I believe this is a tripod, it makes sense for me to try to open it. So the first chance I got, I opened it, and sure enough, it was a bomb. And now I almost went with my major just hitting this piece, but he didn't defend it, and that's what threw me off. So I decided, okay, I'm not gonna do anything careless. He's still completely paralyzed, so let's just go with my sergeant. Now he put his colonel here, so I figured, okay, there might actually be something happening over there. And now he went with marshals, so I figured, okay, he thinks that he can trade the marshals and get one of the pieces, but I calculated it and decided that he's not getting anything. Yeah, and now I just decided to hit this piece with my sergeant to see what it is. And now, if you remember, this piece is the one that came back, and I just should have... Now was the moment to actually get that piece. It's a captain that would have made it much easier for me to win the game, and also I wouldn't have to take risks. But yeah, so now we swapped a bit, and we end up in very interesting imbalance. We both have one minor, I have two majors, but he has I have two majors and a spy, and he has a lieutenant and a scout. This would have been completely winning if I would have closed flag. But I don't, so there's a little bit of risk in it. I made sure that none of his pieces can get to me easily. Now I wasn't sure which one is the minor, so I decided to make sure that neither one of them can progress. Also, I don't want to trade the miners because now it's pretty clear he has a tripod. And now the question is, how do I win? I mean, obviously there is a miner somewhere. I thought this is the most likely, but there is a scout somewhere, which kind of makes it tricky. And when we get to this position, yeah, now you can pause the video and try to find the winning plan, or at least the one that gives you the most chances. So 3, 2, 1, and yeah, the winning plan is that I use my spy to find one of these two pieces. And if this is ideally I would find a scout. That would be ideal, but even finding minor is good, because then I don't have to watch out for this piece and I can just make sure my minor can go up. The only piece I don't want to find is lieutenant, because if I find lieutenant I have to risk my minor, and if it turns out that this is lieutenant and this is minor, then that's just unfortunate and the game is drawn. But that's the best I've got. And luckily for me I find a minor, so I can just go up with my major and give him away. And now this is a moment where he should have just loaded, or at least not go up and go away with his well, it's a scout, but I didn't know that in the game. But he should try to hit at least two pieces, then he has 66% to win. I mean, he doesn't know that, he believes I have bombed in flag, but he should have at least tried it, because the way it happened, he got to hit just one piece, and that just gives you way lower odds. And I won at the end, so I hope you enjoyed the video. It was definitely interesting, and one fun fact for the end, this was a tournament game, and in games you have 1 hour to win the game. And by the end, I'm not really sure about the exact time, but my opponent actually could have thrown the game right here. If he wouldn't have hit the bomb with his scout and just waited, then he had enough time to play his moves that the game would end because of the time. But my opponent decided to be a really good sportsmanship, or to show really good sportsmanship, and let me win it. He hit this piece, but he could have gotten away with a draw. So I'm very thankful to him. Also, it shows that he is a really nice guy. So Vertigo, I will remember this. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.